Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley, brought to you today by Angie Cox State Farm Insurance in Jefferson City. My guest today is Jefferson County head soccer coach Shawn Way. Shawn, thanks for coming on with us, man.
Thanks for having me on here again.
And then, of course, having Andrew Briggs back on with us, my co-host. Andrew, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Jefferson County actually won the district tournament last week against South Dole. And Shawn, second year in a row, you guys got that done, and on penalty kicks nonetheless, right?
Yeah, we've played South Dole penalty kicks 4 times the past 4 years. Not always in district tournament, but this is the second year in a row we won a district tournament on PKs, and it was a long, hard-fought match. Just excited for the girls, and they were pumped up about it.
How cool is it to enjoy victories like that as a coach?
It's special. I mean, the girls work so hard from June on, and to see the time and effort they put into it, and you sometimes feel like sometimes there's one little break will make the game go either way, but they just fought hard, and it's just happy for them. They put a lot of time and effort in.
Yeah.
You know, Coach, you had that hard-fought win, like you said. For your team, what were the keys during that game to win that game the way they did?
Our goalkeeper played, Alexia Green. She just had an amazing game. Got her hands on all kinds of balls that were up in the air, on the ground. So she kept us in the game. And really, we just buckled down defensively. We didn't have our best offensive output that night, but we just kind of buckled down and I call it just kind of had to have grit. So that was our main key.
Yeah, it seems like you guys have kind of had grit most of the season. Talk a little bit. Is that a characteristic of this team that is going to carry you guys moving forward?
I don't know if you're going to call us cardiac kids, but we've gone 2 overtimes in Morristown West this season. Once in postseason, once in regular season, and we just always seem to kind of find ourselves in close matches with tough opponents. So I guess you could say it's a characteristic. I'm proud to coach these girls. We got 10 seniors, provide great leadership, and it's been an awesome season.
Now, before the South Dole game, of course, you did get Morristown West, and you're a Morristown West guy, right?
I'm a Morristown West graduate, yes.
So
I don't never forget that either.
Yeah. So how different is that kind of coaching against your alma mater, and then too, I guess, coming out ahead?
Well, I mean, yeah, I've been out of Morristown West since 1992, and I always joke and tell my girls, when I was at Morristown West High School, champions were made, and that drives them crazy.
Yeah.
But it used to be odd coaching against your alma mater, but now I consider myself more of a patriot than a Trojan. So I've kind of made the transition, so to speak. But it's always an intense rivalry. The girls and guys both always get it for that game, whether it's postseason or regular season. So it's a good challenge with a healthy rivalry.
Yeah.
Coach, as you guys move into region play now, Science comes to Jefferson County on Tuesday. What do you think for your girls are the key for your team to come out on top on Tuesday?
I feel like that we just had little mistakes that hurt us in the previous 2 meetings with Science Hill. So I think coming out with intensity for 80 minutes, also trying to score first and dig ourselves out of the hole. Mm-hmm. We played close for half, and then when we go to a goal or 2, and then have to fire our way back, and then kind of lose in the closing minutes. So playing a consistent 80-minute match will help us beat Science Hill.
You said the previous matches with Science Hill, you were kind of still messing with the goalie rotation and things like that. Kind of talk about now that that's a settled position. Kind of talk about what that brings to the table for Tuesday's match.
Well, I think that all 3 of our keepers are very talented: Michaela, Leah, and Lexi Green. Lexi's had like anyone else, had to fight for her position this year, and it just gives us I guess more confidence. We know who's going to be back there, and she's such an athlete and competitor that. We feel good with her back there, and I think all 3 keepers struggled a little bit early in the season with catching balls from outside the 18. We just continuously worked on it, so they've all 3 done a great job. Lexi just kind of won a spot out here towards the postseason.
Yeah. Now, of course, if you win on Tuesday night, not jumping ahead of things, but that kind of secures a spot in the sectional.
Yeah, in the sectional for Saturday, and then we also have to play either a rematch with either Tennessee High or a 3rd time against South Dole. So
right.
it'll be a hard fought match on Tuesday to get there, but we like our chances against the other teams in the region.
Yeah.
You know, Coach, you said you have 10 seniors on this year's team. How does that help you going into a big game like Tuesday? They played in these games. How does that help your team going into those games?
The level of experience and work rate that the girls have, they know what's expected at this time of year. Sometimes the games are win or go home, like Tuesday's match will be, and they play together in club season to prepare for this, and then just. This is either this time of year, or you have a bad 20 minutes, it can cost you your season. So just having the mental edge on that, I think, helps them out a little bit, and knowing that we have a bad game, it could be it.
Mm-hmm. Now, Coach, if there's somebody sitting at home right now and they don't have anything else to do on Tuesday night, what would you tell them to get them fired up for this?
I'd just say come to Leroy Shannon Field, 7 o'clock Tuesday night. We're going to beat the Hilltoppers. The third time's a charm. We're due to beat them this time. So yeah, please come support Lady Patriots soccer team. We're fired up to get another shot to go to state on Saturday.
Absolutely. That's head coach Shawn Way. Like he said, Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Be there to support your Lady Patriots as they do try to make a run to the sectional and to the state tournament. Shawn, thanks for coming on with us.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Welcome back to Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley. Brought to you today by Angie Cox State Farm Insurance in Jefferson City. Now we're moving ahead over into our football portion. Jefferson County fell to Science Hill on Friday night, 48-17, and it was really big play after big play after big play for Science Hill, and it's kind of been the case for Jefferson County all year long in losses. Just not able to contain the big play. The big play is what killed them.
Yeah, they had big plays killed them all year, and Science Hill struck early. Big play, like you said, and it just kind of put them in a hole, and Jefferson County just really couldn't get themselves out of it all night.
Yeah, well, it's like, and Coach Kenny Cobble said after the game, the first 2 or 3 possessions of the game, it just seemed like the kids just weren't into it.
Yeah.
And it was evident. Science Hill was able to rack up 426 yards of total offense in the first half. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
And defensively, that's normally the defense has been Jefferson County's strong point. But they were able to throw the ball. Of course, they got their starting quarterback back for this game against Jefferson County. So Jefferson County wasn't able to get that in their favor. But he did come back, had a good game. He was 10 of 18 for 260 yards. And really, though, it was the athletes of Science Hill that took over the game.
When they have that many yards in the first half, and like you said, they came out really flat. Like they didn't really want to be there, to be honest, and they didn't want any of it. But their athletes, Science Hill's athletes, just matched ours, like you said. I mean, they had just many more athletes on their offensive side of the ball than we had on the defensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. And that showed on the plays that they got. They took us deep, ran plays to the house that just killed us.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do believe that Guerrero was the leading tackler on the defense, and unfortunately it was 30 or 40 yards down the field on every occasion. He had to take an angle to push the guy out of bounds, and of course there were some penalties, questionable calls on the penalty things from the officials.
Yeah.
But one play that stuck out was a cheap shot that a guy took, that the referee just wasn't going to call it, and you think, wow, but he ended up calling it. But moving ahead, Jefferson County gets Dobbins Bennett this week. Dobbins Bennett's 4-4. Dobbins Bennett is not the Dobbins Bennett of past that you think, okay, here just chalk it as an L for Jefferson County.
Yeah.
Jefferson County has not beaten Dobbins Bennett since 1991. Mm-hmm. They're 2-19 all time against Dobbins Bennett. And the last win was in 1991, a 13-12 decision in the playoffs. So here's I think a good chance for Jefferson County to get that first win in almost 25 years.
Yeah, I think so too, because Dobbins Bennett had a big win at the first of the season where they knocked off Sevier County, mm-hmm. and it was really a win that everybody was like, wow, DB, they're good. But then they've had some losses that really have not been good losses, as you would say. But I think Jefferson County has a good chance to get that win. And it would be a big win if they could get that win as Dobbins Bennett comes into Dumpling Valley. I think that'll play good in their favor, mm-hmm. that Dobbins Bennett's coming to town. But I think Jefferson County has a good chance in that game.
But Dobbins Bennett's offense, that is the key. They really haven't been able to get anything going the last few weeks. Only scoring 7 points against Bearden. Bearden is much improved.
Yeah, very much improved.
But for Dobbins Bennett to only be able to score 7 points kind of throws a red flag up to me, saying that Jefferson County will be able to compete definitely in this game.
Yeah, they scored 7 points against a Bearden team, which is much improved, like you said, but they're not a Maryville type of team. Mm-hmm. That just their defense could come out and hammer you.
Yeah.
I think that shows, like you said, that Jefferson County can compete with them, and that if their defense plays like they have been playing, which Jefferson County has been pretty much their strong point.
Front seven.
Front seven has been good. The secondary has been a little iffy, but the front seven has been very good, and I think that will play in Jefferson County's favor that their offense hasn't been that strong. But I think that helps Jefferson County that their offense hasn't been rolling very good.
It most definitely does. Of course, it was rolling earlier this season, and that would be Jefferson County's luck that they find their stride again against Jefferson County. But Jefferson County has a real shot here to get to 500 on the season, to going into the playoffs, and what a boost that would be to be able to get to 5-5 going into the playoffs.
Right now, they're a deflated team. Right now, they don't have much confidence at all, and I think that would be huge. Because that's definitely what Jefferson County's team needs is confidence. Because like you said, they get to 5-5, 500 on the season. That gives them a little confidence going into the playoffs, and maybe they make a run and knock off an opponent and get things going, which they're very capable of, as they've shown this season.
Yeah.
But I think that would be big if they got to 5-5.
Yeah. Well, especially because you're looking at like going to Blackman.
Yeah.
So you're making a long trip from that first round of the playoffs right now. So they need to improve their positioning. Maybe they won't have to travel as far.
Yeah.
Maybe they can get a better opponent for them. But I think moving forward for Jefferson County, if the front seven is able to contain up front, be able to get pressure on the quarterback like they did like the first 2 games of the year at least, I do think that Dobbins Bennett is a very beatable team. Bearden is a very beatable team. Bearden has a small little running back that can kind of scat a little bit, but they don't throw the ball a whole lot.
Which plays in Jefferson County's favor.
It does. But on the flip side of things, people do throw the ball against Jefferson County. Because that is their weakness. Their weakness is their secondary. And teams know that watching film. The fans know that watching the games every week. But I think 5-5 is so critical for this football team because of what it would mean to them to have that little bit of confidence, getting 2 straight wins going into the playoffs. But one thing that's gonna have to be better, I think, is the offensive line play. They have to be able to run the football and able to further their season.
Yeah. Jefferson County hasn't been able to establish much of a run all year. And I think, like you said, if the offensive line can do a better job and they can establish a run early, that'll open up the passing game, which has been our strong point of this season on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
But, we have the running backs that are capable of doing it, breaking off some plays, but that's just what the offensive line has to do, is do their job there and establish a run game early, and I think it helps Jefferson County a whole lot more on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. I was able to catch up with head coach Kenny Kabul after the game on Friday night against Science Hill. Coach, I guess as the case in all the losses this year, big plays after big plays just killed you guys.
Yeah, and I put this one on me. We didn't coach it well enough. We didn't play well enough as players. Didn't coach well enough as coaches. So that starts with me. I've got to do a better job getting them ready. And last week we talked about the same thing. You can't play another team and play yourself. And tonight we came out, and for the first 2 or 3 series, we weren't ready to play and gave up the big plays and got ourselves behind and dug a hole. And that's kind of the story of the ball game.
Yeah, coming out in the second half, no quitting the team, and you have to, and it's been the case all year long. You have to be excited about that.
Yeah, we did some decent things. Blocked the punt, moved the ball, scored the ball a little bit. But again, it goes back to how we start. And we got to finish stronger, but we certainly got to start much better. And I'm gonna figure out a way. I don't know what to do just yet. We're gonna figure out a way to get us started a little bit better.
Now, Jefferson County does return home this week, 7:30 at Leroy Shannon Field to take on the Kingsport Dobbins Bennett Indians. And my co-host, Andrew Briggs, along with Matt Bradley and Bryce Bissell, will be having the high school game day show at 6:15 prior to kickoff on Friday night. It will be located on the track. You'll want to make sure that you're there to see that. It'll be very entertaining for sure. We'd like to thank Angie Cox State Farm Insurance in Jefferson City for supporting the Jefferson County Patriots and the Jefferson County Post. Welcome back to Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley. We move forward into our Big Orange Breakdown portion of the show, brought to you today by Volunteer Spirits, located in Jefferson City, reminding you, if you drink, please drink responsibly. Of course, University of Tennessee had the bye week this week after a huge win against Georgia, their first signature win under Butch Jones. They were able to get some guys healthy. They'll have some guys return for the Alabama game. Of course, Kurt Magid will not be one of those guys, and that's a guy they really can use. But he won't be one of those guys this week that suits up for Alabama or for Tennessee. But expect him to return sometime in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Of course, they go to Tuscaloosa. It's always a tough place to play. It doesn't help things when Alabama is one of the top 5 teams in the country, like they are year in and year out. And it seems like they're just now starting to find their stride. Of course, beating a very good Texas A&M team on Saturday. Of course, beating Georgia the way they beat Georgia by 4 touchdowns. I think that it's not a good time to go to Tuscaloosa and play Alabama right now. And that's for anybody in the country, not just Tennessee. Unfortunately, Tennessee does get them next. So I think moving forward, after this game, I think you can most likely give Tennessee a loss in this game. Only because Alabama is in that groove right now. But then after this game, Tennessee should be favored in the rest of their games throughout the whole rest of the season. Now, if Tennessee does knock off Alabama this weekend, and they're sitting at 4-3, then you have to think, wow, this season could be very special. Because then you're looking at a 9-3 season right in the face, just 2 weeks after we were talking about staring 2-5 right in the face. So that is college football for you. That is how quickly things can turn around. Not only that, but it also gives Tennessee a great opportunity to represent the East in the SEC championship game. Trying not to look ahead too far, but if they are able to finish 9-3, they'll finish 6-2 in the SEC. And right now, where Florida has 1 loss, Georgia with 2 conference losses, you have to start thinking that Tennessee kind of controls its own destiny, because Florida, with their suspended quarterback, they will fall. They fail again. They failed this week for the first time against LSU in a hard-fought game, 35-28. But I think as that continues, Florida will lose a few more games this season, while Tennessee will be favored in almost all their games. But this week against Alabama, look for Tennessee to be able to establish a run. That's the key against Alabama. If Tennessee's able to run the football effectively like they have against a very good Florida defense and against Georgia, look for Tennessee to be able to have a chance in this game. The offensive line play is going to have to be just a little more better than it was against Georgia, of course, because Alabama's defensive front 7 is second to none in college football. So look for them to try to establish a run early. Tennessee's passing game, of course, until this past week against Georgia, has been kind of hit and miss. So if they're able to continue the growth in their passing game, Tennessee has a chance. But I don't see them being able to pull the upset off this week. But hey, stranger things have happened in college football for sure. So that is your Big Orange Breakdown for the week. Brought to you today by Volunteer Spirits in Jefferson City, reminding you, if you drink, please drink responsibly. Welcome back to Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley. We're moving ahead now into our 5th quarter portion of the show, brought to you today by the Dandridge General Store, located in historic downtown Dandridge. We'll just jump right into it. Jefferson County versus Dobbins-Bennett. They get to host Dobbins-Bennett this year. Andrew, what do you see in this game?
Well, I think I'm going to go Jefferson County. I'm going to pick them because I think that Dobbins-Bennett, their offense has been flat, as we said before, and I think Jefferson County's front 7 is going to come in and prove a statement, and they're going to have a big game, and they're going to shut them down. Jefferson County's offense is going to find their rhythm, and expect big games from Noah Carter and Gurrell, and I'm going to pick Jefferson County to win that one in a close ball game.
That's good. I'm going to have to pick Dobbins Bennett because until I see another game, I cannot pick the way they came out flat this week against Santiago. I can't imagine them coming out pumped up against Dobbins Bennett. So I'm gonna go Dobbins Bennett. I do think it'll be a close ball game, but I'm gonna have to go Dobbins Bennett. Now maybe the game of the week will be played on Thursday night. It'll be on TV. It'll be the MyVLT game of the week. You have Morristown West traveling to Sevier County. Two teams that are undefeated in region play. And this basically will be determining the region championship for the season. And who do you have, Andrew?
I'm going to pick Morristown West. I think their defense is just too good for Sevier County. I think that with that secondary, that it's going to be hard for Deuce Walsh to throw, and then their linebackers and their defensive line is extremely good. And I think in a close ball game, I think Morristown West beats Sevier County.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to agree with you, Andrew. I think Morristown West defense is just too strong because Sevier County's defense has given up a lot of points this year. So I think Morristown West offense will be good enough to put points up, and I think their defense will be good enough to keep Morristown West or Sevier County rather. They won't be able to keep them scoreless or keep them down, but they'll be able to score more points than them, I feel like, because of their defense, if that makes sense to you. Now, we're going to move ahead to the college ranks. You have your Kentucky Wildcats traveling to Mississippi State, a Mississippi State team that's looked pretty good so far this season. Kentucky coming off a tough loss to Auburn. They clawed their way back in the game, just wasn't able to pull it off. What do you got in this one?
As bad as it hurts to say it, I'm going to pick Mississippi State in this game. Just Kentucky team that they need that big win in the season to have their chance against Auburn. But I think traveling to Mississippi State, tough environment, I just don't think a young Kentucky team can go down there and win. So I'm going to go Mississippi State in a close ball game.
I think so too. I think Mississippi State will be too tough for Kentucky. Mainly because of the environment, because of the cowbells, because if you've ever been to Mississippi State, it is unlike any other stadium.
You can't match it.
Yeah, I mean, now there's not going to be 100,000 people screaming down your throat, but just the atmosphere on a Saturday evening in Starkville, Mississippi is something else. So I'm going to go Mississippi State as well. Probably about a 24 to 14, 24-17 ball game, something along those lines. Now we'll just jump right into our final game of the day, of the week. Tennessee travels to Alabama. Tennessee coming off a huge win, of course, against Georgia, getting the bye week, getting healthy. I don't know.
I don't know. You got to go to Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, Tennessee going down there to Alabama. It's a Tennessee team with a lot of confidence. I think Tennessee plays them close for the first two quarters. You know, it's a back and forth game. I think they're within 7 in the first half, but then Alabama pulls away in the end, and I'm going to pick Alabama to win. I think their defense is too good, and I'm just going to pick Alabama to win that game.
You might remember Lane Kiffin's season here when we went to Alabama and lost 12-10. Had a chance to kick the game-winning field goal, and he got blocked by big Terrence Cody.
Condo the line.
You remember that, right? I don't think it's going to happen this year. I hope Tennessee keeps the game that close, where they're able to have that opportunity at the end of the game. But I don't think it happens. I don't think. I think Tennessee, while I don't think they get just absolutely killed in this game. I don't see them being able to have a chance at the end of the game and win it. I think it's probably at least a 2-possession game, probably somewhere along the lines of like a 31-21, 31-17 game. That probably is where it's at, just because Alabama's defense is so good. You know.
I agree with you.
For Andrew Briggs, I'm Mike Stanley. Thank you guys for watching at home.